let's talk about those 16 turnovers, right? Alabama A&M is, I told Otis, they play so hard, they're so scrappy, and they're really good with their hands, getting tips and deflections and flying around, jamming outlets and rebounds, and really had us out of sync a lot offensively tonight, changing defenses, matchup zone, switching man, switching ball screen, switching everything. Didn't find a great offensive rhythm. You know, we happen to be bigger and longer, of course, and our offensive rebounding talent, you know, took over in the paint. Thought we did a really good job of drawing fouls, fighting through contact. It was a really physical game, of course. And then I thought, for the most part, did a pretty good job defensively. Love the way that we finished the right way with getting some stops, especially down the stretch in the last 4 minutes. You know, we had guys out there that don't get a ton of opportunity that finished on a 9-0 run, if I'm not mistaken. Love the unselfishness. We had some breakaways where guys gave it up for each other. We had a lot of extra passes. Had some big-time hustle plays. A couple that stick out, you know, by freshmen, Asa and Santo. So proud of the overall effort.
Finishing out games again.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot better than what you saw. I know this or anything
Sure.
like that, but when it comes to finishing out games, that seemed to be what Asa talking about that a little bit. Blue
Yeah.
did as well. Well, how do y'all work on that in practice when it comes to finishing out?
We do a lot of 4-minute games in practice. You know, we do that, and we referenced the end of the Tennessee Tech game and even the end of the Georgia Tech game, where we just couldn't get a stop down the stretch. Of course, we were just trading free throws for baskets the other day, and we're all trying to grow as programs and as teams, and that's just something that stuck out to us here recently, that we've been really good at times defensively, but have we put 40 together, that's what the good teams do. That's what the top of our league's going to do. It's a process to get there, and I thought we took some steps there today where the detail was great. They touch paint probably too many times off of the bounce, but fortunately we have guys that are back there erasing some mistakes, as we've talked about a lot, you know, over the past few months. Our execution versus a lot of their changing disruptive defenses wasn't pretty at times, but our effort was certainly there throughout, and as strong as it was all game in those last few minutes, which is growth.
What kind of progress have you seen from Santo to this point in the season?
Oh, decision making, passing, not turning the ball, but just being more secure with the ball in his hands. Ball screen defense has gotten better. Transition defense has gotten better. His footwork in the post, you know, he's a guy that's kind of settled in. The game is slow form a little bit. You know, he's a little bit more poised with the ball in his hands, close to the basket, not forcing as much, and just scratching the surface. You know, he's a talented guy. I guess I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the improvement with his motor too. You know, you talk about some of those hustle plays. That's growth for him. He's playing hard.
We heard a couple of times of him too, communicating on the court. You hear him, you know, calling out different things on the court during the game.
Yeah, he's got presence, obviously, and so when he's talking, you can hear him, and he's got to continue to be convicted, you know, in what he's talking about, and decisive, and be loud and early with some of his defensive communication. I thought Justin Abson did a good job of that with us tonight too. Justin has got so much maturity, offensively and defensively, just kind of anchors some things and puts guys in the right spots, and he's got some quarterback in him as a big.
You got so many combinations now you could use. I mean, for different guys on the court at different times. From just that standpoint, be able to use a lot of players. Kind of where are you right now in that regard from what you would hope to be?
Confusing.
Yeah.
You know, but a luxury. You know, we like our depth, but that said, Marquette and St. John's have great depth. I hadn't studied those guys much at all. I honestly haven't seen either team play. Seen some of the teams in our league play, and saw them last year, and depth is prevalent to the league. You know, height and length and speed and quickness, and a bunch of guys that can do damage to SEC opponents, you know, as starters or off the bench. So we've got a roster that's just chance to be more competitive against high-level competition. And I really like our depth. I don't know what we do moving forward. Who knows how many minutes some of these guys will play, how many of our stars will play moving forward. But we're open to continue to evaluate it. And as long as each one of these guys individually is getting better, and again collectively as a team, we continue to make some improvements, everything will work itself out.
Mike, from what you know about Marquette and St. John's roster makeup, some of the guys who maybe you've seen around the circuit, how can they challenge you that some of the teams you've played so far haven't?
I just know they're highly ranked teams with good metrics, highly rated in Ken Palm. I haven't seen either team. I haven't. I just haven't. I'll dive into that tomorrow, and obviously we won't spend a lot of time with St. John's. Marquette will demand our attention and respect. It's a great program. Shock has done a phenomenal job up there, and from what I've heard from the outside looking in, I think they've got a good culture. And I'm sure they've got really good players, and they run good stuff. It'll be high level game, good opportunity for us to see where we're at.
What are you hoping to see out of your team in the totality of this trip?
Growth. You like to go 2-0. Beating one of these guys would be great. Most importantly, it's a process. It's a journey for this team. Can we continue to make strides? Can we continue to protect our culture? Because I really like what we've got going on right now. At the end of the day, wins and losses are going to take care of themselves. We just got to continue to improve. Embrace the process, enjoy it. We got a team right now playing with joy, and now we're high level competition. Adversity's coming at some point, it might be the next one. Who knows what type of adversity, but how do we handle it? Can we continue to move forward together?
What did you learn from that trip last year that you think can be helpful going in there and playing back-to-back again this time around?
Ooh, I barely remember it. These events are, they give you opportunity to spend more time with one another than normal circumstances. That said, these guys spend a lot of time with each other already. We've got guys in our facility a lot, with one another and in the players' lounge, and getting extra shots in the gym. And so, it'll be a trip to paradise, which would be really nice. But all the teams down there, there's a business side of it too, right? Where we want to come together and see where we stack up against some of the best teams in the country.
Did you know you're going to have 2 games there, or did the St. John's game kind of come about later?
It did. It came about later. I don't know how much later. It's hard to remember those details, but we needed another one, and that opportunity came about, and it just made sense for us. Both teams down there, different circumstances. Not necessarily conventional for us or them, but both teams agreed, to play the game, and but the Marquette one was originally scheduled a little bit earlier.
Good time. 2 more.
Do you have any kind of interaction with Patina through the years, and your thoughts on, I guess, kind of a Hall of Fame type coach that you go against him?
Phenomenal coach. Studied a lot of his teams over the years. Played against him when I was at Ole Miss. I want to say only our freshman year, if I'm not mistaken. I believe Mark Pope was on that team. I think we were down 30 at halftime and rough. Coach Pitino had, 8, 9, 10, 11 pros on that team. They were just unbelievably loaded and fun to watch and fun to compete against. And just over the years, if you want to talk about press or pressure basketball, offensively, defensively, spacing you, shooting the 3, turning you over, his name's going to come up, if you want to study some of the best. He's had an incredible run. We'll look forward to that one, but we got a huge one before that one, a Marquette program that's clicking on all cylinders. This is what Coach Smart has done in the rebuild up there has been phenomenal.
Have you crossed paths with Shaka over the years?
Yeah, a little bit. We've had some conversations from time to time, and again, I have a lot of respect for how they operate and how they play and the success that they've had. Got a couple mutual friends, and going back to Coach Patino, he has I ran into him a long time ago, and he says, "Hey, that court down there should be named Billy Donovan Court." I said, "Yeah, it should be, right?" And I think our administration at the time was thinking the same thing, you know, back in Florida, and obviously that's what it's named now. So he's had an impact on a ton of people in our profession, of course.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.